Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. I wanted to do an updated video on the AAP Perio guidelines because now it's been out for, oh gosh, a number of years. When it first came out, we were all confused. I know I was extremely confused, but by now everybody should be using this on a regular basis every day at your dental office or if you have your own practice. So I'm going to go through it with you as simple as possible so you can start using it and kind of how to go through it and what it means. Okay, so I just kind of had this image here because I do like this one. It's just basically showing you guys how different things can look like. As dental professionals, we look inside the mouth. Is it healthy? Is there gingivitis? Is there periodontal disease? Is it very severe periodontal disease? So we need to determine stages. And is it going to be grade A, grade B, or grade C? So these are just kind of some pictures for those of you guys who need to look at something to really learn it. I am one of those people. So just as an example, they're fairly healthy here. So yes, there might be one little spot that is bleeding when you're probing, but there's no bone loss, there's no pockets, none of that. They are considered healthy, okay? I wouldn't worry about that little bleeding spot. If it's less than 10%, don't worry about it. We always mention to our clients, of course, healthy gums do not bleed, but this is minimal. Brush these areas better and we're not worried about it. Gingivitis though, what if inside the mouth the gums are puffy, red, swollen? There's more than 10% sites are starting to bleed when you're doing the probing, and there are now pockets, 4mm pockets or less, 4 or less. Basically, in this image here, it is saying there's a 4mm pocket. Actually, no, sorry, it's kind of saying grade less than or equal to. So this is dependent on how you're looking at things. If there's one 4mm pocket, honestly, I don't worry about it. I'm making a note in the chart. They have localized perio, but it's one pocket. I'm not worried about it. I'm more focused on the gingivitis part of it. So how do the gums look? There's more than 10% of the gums are starting to bleed, but there's no bone loss. So that is gingivitis. But what if we get into more pocketing here? So there's 4mm or more, 4 to 5mm. That can be considered initial perio, otherwise known as early perio, and then to moderate perio, if it's a 5mm pocket, they might be starting to get bone loss, especially at that 5mm pocket. This is moderate perio. Early to moderate, okay? Early perio are those 4mm pockets. Moderate perio is when you hit the 5mm pocket and there might be some bone loss happening. But then you have severe perio. So this is stages 3 to 4, where there's deep pockets. So 6mm or more, there's absolutely bone loss. There's a lot happening. The gums are bleeding everywhere, not just a little bit, the gums are bleeding everywhere. So this is severe perio. Moving on to the next slide here. So you're wondering, okay, Andrea, all of this sounds great. I see the pictures. I'm a pro now. But then when you go to write a statement, you have to write the staging and the grading. And this is where people get stumped. So I'm going to help you with that. So first you need to do a probe. You cannot determine the bone loss, the pockets, or the clinical attachment levels without probing. And you also need x-rays. So you need to be looking at those x-rays. From there, you can establish a stage. And that is kind of what we were talking about. Are things healthy? Does the patient have gingivitis? Is it stage 1 or 2, or is it stage 3 or 4? So this is when we put that in there. But then we need to determine, is it going to be grade A, grade B, or grade C? And this is where I'm going to explain that a little bit more for you. Those depend on, does the client smoke, or is there any tooth loss? So I'm going to explain those a bit more in a moment. First, let's look at staging. So this is a chart you want to print if you're still getting used to the different stages, pocket levels, bone loss, percentages, all of that. I still have these in my practice, okay? I have them with me all the time. I'm getting pretty good at it though. I don't have to look at it as much, but if you're looking at exact percentages, pocketing, you need to be looking at this exact chart. But then the next one is going to be this one, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So again, you guys, stage one, look at the pocketing, look at the bone loss. Keep it as simple as that, you guys, pocketing and bone loss. And then you have to determine, is it localized pocketing or is it generalized pocketing? Simple as that. Stage one, the pockets are going to be less than stage two, stage three, and stage four. So I have it on this chart a little more specific here. So stage one, pockets are typically 4 millimeters. Stage two, the pockets are 5 millimeters. Stage three, 6 millimeters, and stage four, higher than 6. So 7 millimeters or more. So I'll say that again, write this down. Stage one, and see, I still have to look. Stage one, pockets are 4 millimeters. Stage two, pockets are 5 millimeters. Stage three, pockets are 6 millimeters. Stage four, 7 millimeters or more. And then you have to determine the bone loss from the x-rays. Tooth loss, we go into that a bit more later on. So I will explain that after we talk about either grade A, B, or C, okay? So does that make sense so far? So, and then, as I said, you have to determine, is it localized bone loss and pockets, or is it generalized bone loss and pockets? You need to write that down. Localized is 30%, is less than 30%. Generalized is 30% or more of those teeth. So is it going to be grade A, grade B, or grade C? Again, we're looking at the bone loss and how quickly the bone loss is happening. And are they a smoker or are they not? Do they have uncontrolled diabetes or is it controlled? In this chart, again, I love this one here. I will actually leave the link for this one for you guys on the bottom. Let me see here, guys. Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes, talking about bone loss. So in stage one, there will be no bone loss. Stage two, no bone loss. Stage three, 4 teeth or less, up to 4 teeth. And then stage 4, 5 teeth or more, that would be stage 4. Okay, so then you would kind of determine that depending on the tooth loss, that kind of thing, right? Typically with the stages, they could be anything. They could be grade A, grade B, or grade C, because it depends on how quickly that bone loss is happening, okay? So just back to the stages again. Remember how I said stage one, there's going to be typically 0 bone loss because the pocket is 4 millimeters. You don't get bone loss with a 4 millimeter pocket. Stage three, you start, or sorry, stage two, you start to have 5 millimeters, okay? Stage 3, 6 millimeters, and stage 4, sorry, is 7 millimeters. But in case you were confused, in the interdental cal, so this is talking about clinical attachment loss, not pocketing. Again, you guys, that's why I love this chart instead, because it's more specific. I can leave the link for you guys for this. I got this from an amazing resource, the DSO Hygiene Excellence website, so definitely check them out. But that's just basically it in a nutshell, keeping it simple for you guys, okay? If you have any questions, let me know, comment below. It does get easier with practice, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching. Please click like to this video if you like it. That does help me in my channel, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching.